This section of the orientation will focus on how to provide quality supervision to students in a social work field placement. Providing field supervision to a student is very different than that of supervising an employee or a volunteer. Alfred Kadushin outlined 3 types of supervision. The next 3 slides will highlight points to keep in mind when supervising a student. Administrative supervision is the promotion and maintenance of good standards of work, coordination of practice with policies of administration, and the assurance of an efficient and smooth running office. This form of supervision allows opportunity for field supervisors to share concerns about the student performance. The experience you offer is a learning opportunity, and as such, students need to know where they may not be meeting the expectations of your agency. One of the most challenging things for social work students, and probably a lot of staff, is to appreciate the importance of understanding agency mission, vision, and goals. They need to read agency policy and procedure manuals. Students need to participate in meetings where you talk about how your agency is doing at meeting its goals. Students should attend a board meeting or 2 if that's possible. They often need help in understanding the boundaries of service for an agency. Students need to know that you don't do everything for everybody, even when people need you to. They need to adhere to your standards for confidentiality, know how privacy is protected as they use your agency's technologies. They need to understand your agency's funding sources and the limitations that funding probably sets. Students need to know how your agency accesses its usefulness to the clients in their community. Students need to learn how you fit into your community. They should visit referral agencies, neighborhood centers, etc. to understand how services fit together. Educational supervision is the educational development of each individual and worker on the staff in a manner calculated to evoke their full potential and realize their possibilities of usefulness. Educational supervision should allow students to reflect on content and process of their work, develop understanding and skills within their work, receive constructive feedback about one's work, and be able to process this feedback. The developmental stages of field placement form, outlined later, is a useful tool in this stage of supervision. If a situation arises that needs immediate attention, you must notify your faculty liaison immediately. Being proactive regarding issues with students allows the liaison to work with the student to optimize professional growth and development. Early in their integrated seminars, students have an assignment about giving and receiving constructive feedback. This assignment assists the student in how to communicate their needs and listen to the needs of others. You are encouraged to ask a student about the curriculum they are receiving in class in order to assist them in understanding how it's applied at your agency. Supportive supervision is the maintenance of harmonious working relationships and cultivating morale. Supportive supervision should allow for the student to receive information and another perspective concerning one's work, receive and process feedback, be validated and supported as a person and worker, and that one is not left to carry unnecessary difficulties, problems, and projections alone. In this form of supervision, primary areas of focus may be allowing the opportunity for students to explore their personal distress that may be brought up by the work. Field supervisors may want to share with the student how to separate personal and professional resources or learn how to be proactive and not reactive. During their field meetings each week with their faculty liaison, students explore many things that fall into this category of supportive supervision. We talked about this a little bit in the first section. Students typically struggle more with how agencies really work than they struggle with what clients are really like. We spend 4 years telling them how things are supposed to be and then send them out into the real world where nothing could possibly be just like they're supposed to be. Students have to find their way as professionals in agencies with other professionals that behave differently than social workers do. They have to learn to keep good boundaries, even with other staff, and even with their supervisor. We work on that in the integrated seminar as well. Remember that your faculty liaison is there for you if you need help sorting out through issues with a student. We would much rather be on the front end of the process than coming in when it's too serious to alleviate. We want this year's experience to be as good for you as it is for the student. If you should need assistance on how to structure supervision, please contact your faculty liaison. Students are encouraged to come to supervision with questions and an agenda of what they want to learn. They should also be presenting you material from the classroom to discuss. Your faculty liaison will provide you a syllabus upon request. The UWRF Field Program combined two separate models to outline the developmental process of a student during their field placement. We have broken down this process into 4 stages. You will be provided a folder that will have essential handouts to assist you in your role as the field supervisor. The first stage in this model, anticipation, is where a student will be very anxious about their role and responsibilities at the agency. They will question if they're doing the right thing and will have lots of questions like, what if? At this stage, a field supervisor is encouraged to be realistic of the student's ability, be clear with the expectations, and set specific and achievable goals. In stage 2, disillusionment, is where students will begin to feel unexpected emotions, question their skills, feel overwhelmed with the demands placed on them, begin to form relationships, and realize that what they learned in the book may not be what it really looks like in the real world. Field supervisors can normalize emotions, acknowledge the gap between expectations and reality, encourage self-care, refer to the learning agreement to assist students in breaking down tasks and applying classroom assignments to the learning environment. In stage 3, competency and mastery, this is where students begin to feel comfortable with their role and responsibilities. Students set higher goals for themselves here. They become more invested in what they are doing. They discuss more in-depth ethical issues, and they begin to demonstrate a balance between home, self, and career. At this stage, field supervisors will want to share their concerns openly, encourage the student to develop and utilize effective coping strategies, and encourage the student to apply theory to practice with case presentations. In stage 4, closure and termination, students are encouraged to prepare for this stage beginning in stage 1. Students are encouraged to be clear with their clientele, their role and time at the agency. In this stage, students begin to see the real issues and confront them with their clients and supervisor. They prepare for termination with the client and the agency and use referral sources to access follow-up care for clients. Field supervisors should identify feelings of the student as their time at the agency comes to a close, review unfinished business, and plan for how closure will happen with clients and staff. This handout is referred to in field seminar often to assist students in recognizing their developmental process. Students report that they spend the first 2 to 3 weeks of their placement in stage 1. Most students enter stage 3 by their 8th week. This will vary depending on the student's previous experience and use of supervision. As mentioned throughout this orientation, it is imperative that students enter their field placement with a clear expectation of what their role and responsibilities will be. The UWRF field program strongly suggests that students are oriented to an agency either formally or informally. Good communication between the field supervisor and student begins the educational journey to a rewarding experience. Now, let's go make that happen. Thank you for partaking in this 2-part orientation. Please feel free to contact me or your faculty liaison should you have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the UWRF Field Education Program. For your participation, we will be sending you a continuing education credit. Please contact me for directions on where to send that continuing education credit. I look forward to our partnership with you and your agency. Have a great day.